out, I think, because they're going to have to chop and change quite quickly to see and tell a lot of stories, whether it be those who are right at the top of the leaderboard, those who are in the kind of mid-table right now that still could finish at the top of the leaderboard. But Premier GG are a side who did find a victory already today, but then they, off the back of that, finished fourth, and then we haven't seen them maybe necessarily be as strong since, but they have that potential to win here today if they can get into those final circles. The crypto really does make a difference. We saw in EMEA that a couple of teams were running the crypto and just being able to stop those Gibby bubbles from being pesky at the end and being able to hide away from the defensive bombardments. You can surprise the other teams and really be a thorn in their side. But we're heading to the far northeast of the map, up towards the Climatizer and around Epicenter as well. We saw a similar circle in EMEA earlier on today, and this certainly is going to be good news for Cloud9.
Yeah, we certainly saw a similar circle earlier on as well. That was a difficult sentence to get out, but Cloud9 obviously won this zone earlier on today, where they did play with some pretty good reservation on a lot of the decisions that they had to make after what was a disappointing game number one. TSM, the way they played that last time, they did make that quick rotation using the Skyward Dive as soon as it was available to get into a good spot. But it was these three gentlemen that we see on our screen right now who did take home the win in our game number 2, I believe it was, if my memory serves correctly.
It does serve you correctly. You're good at the math stuff today, so I'm very impressed. But it was a 15th place finish for Cloud9 in the most recent game. They're on 31 points. That puts them 13 points behind first. Sorry, 23 points behind first place.
Got to work on those maths.
Yeah, see, I can't even do it anymore. It's like you've stolen my mojo a little bit here. They really need a big game if they are going to be able to topple this group, and they also need Knights to fall quite early. I think the rest of the lobby is going to be looking at Knights, hoping that there is going to be an early dropout. The closest competitor to Knights is Lazarus. They're 12 points behind. Ghost are 14 points behind, as well as our Premier. So there are teams who could make a difference here, but at the moment, Knights are looking somewhat comfortable.
They certainly are, and they are looking pretty comfy as far as the armors are concerned as well. 2 purples and a blue, leaving Fragment West with some meds to share as well. As you can see, that's going to be a second battery put into the inventory, into the backpack for Azura, who's been really, really impressive for me today, Dan, on the Caustic. I think he's played so many situations almost to a T.
Yeah, I think Caustic is a difficult legend to play if you are used to playing maybe more agile ones who can get in and out of fights a little bit quicker. You also have great responsibility on your shoulders to, at times, defend your team as well. Put those barrels down in a position which can provide cover. And it really can just be that difference maker sometimes if you've got someone who knows how to play a Caustic successfully. So with Asura performing so at the top of his level today, it really has helped the squad.
How about this from Legacy MX? One Valkyrie ult. Or I should say a redeploy into a Valkyrie ult. So they were one of the teams who were involved in our final battle in that game number 2 we were mentioning before, where this circle is going to end up, or look to end up anyway. So their rotation is going to be very, very similar, as you would expect. You get the same kind of result. They will be more than happy with that, especially with their performance so far today. Looks like they did make a very quick rotation as well. It's usually a good indication of the armors that are on the backs of the players, leaving with 2 whites and a blue, but now have managed to level up a little bit there. And you can see, unfortunately for them, and unfortunately for Joe Max, that last blue has just left the station a little bit. We might have to wait for that one to come back and arrive.
And there's that leaderboard on the right-hand side as well. You saw it briefly, the top 10 teams and now the bottom 10 teams. Knights do have that 12-point lead that I was talking about. That definitely can be caught up by the likes of Lazarus and Premier GG. But when you look at how close everyone else is in the lobby on set, we, of course, focus on first place, the 12 points that you can pick up by winning the entire lobby here today. But second place, 9, third place, 7. And then it dwindles away the further you go, of course. And just 2 points could be a huge difference in the grand scheme of things when we look at the overall standings as everything lies right now. Remember, it's the top 20 that these teams are trying to achieve so that they can get into those playoffs. And when we look at teams like Lazarus, they're outside of the top 20 right now. Ghost are outside of the top 20 right now. Legacy MX down in 33rd. They're in the relegation zone. So a good week here, or a good round today, will really just project them up the leaderboard and give them that chance of playoffs.
Confidence is going to be key to that, and we heard a little bit on confidence from Rakinishu earlier on Noble. He also had some other things to say before we started play today, so let's jump in and have a listen.
I really like the new Legend Ashe. I've been playing her in ranked almost exclusively.
I think she has a place in the meta. I think we're already seeing some teams run her. I think she's a very careful with Ashe because in the past you've had Wraith who can go back and forth through portals, and that timing, while the timing was important, you could still just go back and come back when you're ready. But like if you're playing Ashe, you have to be so perfect on your timing on when you're going to do something. But instant portal is also like the potential is way higher, I think.
So some more words this time on the newest legend to the legend pool in Apex Legends, and you can hear from the man Rack that he thinks that Ashe has a place in competitive. We have seen it played a little bit, and I just wonder as time goes on, Dan, it's going to be one of those legends where people just need a little bit more time to work out the intricacies before they bring it into these high-pressure competitive games.
And certainly kind of maps changing and different legends coming into play might encourage more Ashe play to happen as well. Certainly her portal at the end of a game could be massive to keep you alive, because similar to Wraith, you can go into the void and don't take any tick damage, and it really could be a difference maker. But Renegades in a little bit of a scuffle here at the moment, having to throw their utility down towards the bottom of the stairs, as it is going to be a somewhat of a standoff right now, as neither team actually being able to do any damage. But with that door blown off, either team could jump into this fight at any moment.
Yeah, this is Knights on the bottom as well, the team who are leading. I think they've lost one player. I think it was a Cloud9 player who was in the vicinity, and I think there's more than one team here. Renegades are going to have second thoughts about moving in on this fight, as they know that there's more than, as I say, one body around here. Longbow in hand, going to chip away for 55 from distance. And Renegade, I think, have decided maybe just to leave Knights be for now, as you can see that Joey was taken down. So Azura and Guild are going to be doing what they can to just hold the line at the moment, made much easier by that caustic. But you can also see, saying that, the Renegades still fancy a piece of this pie.
Yeah, I think Renegades know that it's two players, and they know that's potential 2 KP they could pick up. And if they have any indication of Knights, you're also taking out the top dogs of the lobby, the leaders, and that would be great news to the likes of Lazarus, the likes of Ghost. In the overall standings, at the moment, Knights are in 21st. They are one position short of those playoffs, but you'd imagine that they would, you know, stay in at least top 2 here, even if they had their worst game. And they could have a terrible game and still win this lobby as well. So they should be moving up into those playoff positions after play ends today.
Renegades are kind of being jump scared by the team behind them, though. Every time that Vaxcon turns to his right, there's just a team standing there, looking like terrifying in the bubble, just staring at him, thinking, go on, a day to peak. Go on, get those 2 kills. We'll be there to third party it. So for now, Renegades just stuck in a bit of a stalemate here, with Knights on the outside of the bottom of that dome. But for now, let's jump over to see Monas, who, like we said, is going to be a very interesting story to watch develop over the next few months and maybe year or so of Apex Legends Global Series, this team. So much individual skill. We mentioned about their arena's dominance, but not having the best of days, or I should say the best of weeks, the best of seasons so far now in the Battle Royale format. But signs of improvement today for sure, Dan.
Yeah, I mean, they're only 15 points short of third place here in this lobby today, so one big game could do it. And just as we jumped away, Renegades have actually been jumped on. Knights have been able to pick up some big kills, and Renegades will fall. Knights come out on top.
Knights somehow managed to win the fight. That is the power of Caustic, waiting for that Nox gas to come back up and just trapping them in a corner. But for Renegades, I mean, somewhat of a damp squib to end the day for them. Not the 2v3 you want to be reminding yourselves of, even if there was some Caustic gas involved. Let's move over from that, though, to Ghost Gaming now, who are trying to make a transition into a fight. But at the moment, this is looking like a difficult one for them as well, as one player will fall. And now Pandas and Six are going to have to back up, and it looks like Madness is going to be left to try and crawl away.
Maybe they've done enough damage just to try and retreat here and hopefully get Madness back up, but it's not going to happen. And now Madness just turns into a death box, and the banner's going to have to try and be retrieved. But with all this commotion, it invites other teams to try and get involved. Monas are having a little poke at this one and fancy maybe some extra KP they can pick up.
Not quite able to close that gap quick enough, though, as they make their way towards Overlook now. Looks like they're just going to hold down this ground and maybe look to hold the teams out who are in that vault tunnel. But Monas have got to be careful here. Aiden the Destroyer going to have to use that Phoenix kit, and some shots were coming in.
Ghost Gaming try and push up as a 2 here. They've got to retreat away from that team who are in the vault area, but at the same time, they know that they are running straight into another team of 3. And for Ghost Gaming, they're in 40 points, they're in 3rd place, so they will be just looking to try and survive and get as many placement points as possible to try and secure these very important and very difficult to come by Pro League points. And they could drop from 3rd place to 7th place quite easily if they drop out in the early stages of this game, so they really need some placements to work with.
Panda's not quite connecting with the flat line on the player, going across the zip line to the top of that drill tower in the way that he would have wanted to. A little bit of damage done though, only 104 points now away from leveling up that Evo shield as well. Maybe scouting out the team landing on the high ground as well. We're just checking the bottom of this zip line below from that tunnel to make sure that they're not going to get jumped on if the team does see some damage being taken. Mona's now making their move as well, but it's starting to get a little bit congested here. Only lost to one team so far in the lobby now.
2 games that Monos have performed well have been similar kind of zones. They have been these areas. They finished 2nd in that game that was a almost identical zone to this one. No, sorry, they finished 3rd in the game that was almost identical to this one in the 2nd game of the day. But it looks like they are struggling a little bit since the GOAT will fall to NRG's suite. So now Monos are going to have to fight in some of like 2 versus 3 here as TSM are overlooking all the action.
TSM taking a very different approach to this zone as well. If you noticed before, they were trying to play that building that was kind of a little bit more northwestern to where they find themselves now, and they're trying to command the high ground and trying to command as much of it around Overlook, as those rocks will be where they were looking to play a little bit later on in the game. But for now, Reps is under a lot of pressure here, and Reps was trying to hold down the tower, but the push has come in. Verholst is trying to move up to keep his teammate alive and maybe look to get that res, but TSM a little bit split across the map, but Ghosts have taken advantage.
Yeah, TSM have to make sure they get around Reps' body now, try and pick him back up. Pandas will be eliminated, crawling away on the floor, and it looks like TSM are going to be okay. A little bit of a scare, and I think maybe they'll be counting their lucky stars that it was a team of 2 that pushed them rather than a team of 3.
Big damage coming in from Verholst though. And Hal trying to move up on it, but recognizes that he's still got to wait. He's got to hold that trigger discipline for just a few seconds as his teammates were still not in a position to help as Reps was popping those meds to get back up to full health. But NRG are chilling right now. This is the very definition of it. Not a lot of action. Snow surrounding them. No heaters inside. Just chilling inside of a truck right in the center of zone. So NRG are set up for success in that late game.
And with that, you saw on the kill feed as well, both members of Ghost Gaming were eliminated. So 17th position. They were in 3rd before this game started, but now the likes of Premier GG, Team Liquid, Absolute Monarchy that we're watching right now, all with a really easy opportunity to overtake the likes of Ghost, and top 3 has been blown wide open here with their early elimination. They'll be kicking themselves a little bit. That fight that they weren't able to win all the way down in Vault really hurt them. They tried to back off, they tried to stay alive as a 2 just to play placement, but in the end falling 17th.
Team Liquid looking to do some damage, and big damage coming in from the charge rifle of Nocturnal. 75 is going to get the crack, the snap, and the pop of the shields. Absolute Monarchy now making a little bit of a late rotation in towards Climatizer, right into the center of zone, and like a little bit of a sticky situation here. The bubble's not going to cover them in the way they would have wanted, but it will cover them just enough. Stompy's going to be taken down, or maybe it won't cover them enough, as now Exile is trying to escape. He'll go down as well. It's all up to Sung now. Down on that low ground, barely any HP to work with, but will be able to get this battery off, you would imagine. But don't step on the lava, that would have been the worst way to close things out.
Don't step on the lava!
Don't step on the lava!
Sounded like my mum. Not that my mum's ever told me not to step on lava, it'd be worrying if she ever had. Like,
Van Gaskin, famous for his volcano hunting.
Don't just talk on volcanoes. But it looks
Don't
like he's
step
just
on
going to
the
be
lava.
able to survive. As Absolute Monarchy have to try and make sure they stay alive. Otherwise, the likes of TSM, NRG, C9, who are in the mid-table right now, will be looking at these kill feed going down, the kill feed going down, saying, hey, you know, we can really start to pick up some places here. There are big Pro League points available if we can get to the late game, if we can get to that final 3. And you've got to imagine with the talent that's on these rosters, they're always going to expect to have the ability to get into that final circle.
Yeah, I mean, TSM have had a little bit of a head scratcher this game, and the reason that I say that is when we were here before, we saw an almost identical looking zone. Where they were playing, it ended up pulling away from it. This time, they've tried to adjust their strategy a little bit, play the other side of zone, And surprise, surprise, the zone is pulled back the other way. So TSM maybe want to switch those rotations around a little bit if they were able to have that crystal ball and look into the future. But for now, Knights, you can see they're going to have to move, but they have done pretty well to pick up KP that we saw a little bit earlier on as a 2. And they do also have the banner. So if they can find a little mobile res beacon around, they might actually be able to get Joey back into this game.
Yeah, what's important is the Knights have stayed alive here. If they had gone down early, it really would have opened the door to the likes of Lazarus and Premier to maybe take first position away from them. But now they can just play the survival game, get at the very minimum into the top 8 to secure some extra placement points alongside the KP they've already got. And this is going to need a big game from those who are behind them to actually wrestle them away from first place. So we'll see how it plays out as we get further into it, as Oxyaries is the first to fall, so Era Eternity in a spot of bother.
Big damage coming in from Team Liquid. Let's jump into a listen-in now with Team Liquid as they try to clean up the fight.
Tom. They're in the corner. I'm marking it. Look at my fall. Where is he? Another team, back up us, back up us, back up us.
They're gonna get killed, they're gonna get killed. I got tethered, dude.
Are you good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Are they full dead?
I got one of my kills.
Okay,
The Bloodhound is down
they're
there.
They're getting pushed.
Running out of sniper ammo here.
I only have 40. Here. Dropping you a click.
You drop me yours and fucking go grab a gun.
I don't know where. There's another team on that side, and I can't
Okay,
remember.
okay.
Who took that zip? Oh, that's you. Alright, get ready.
Is that open?
I think it is, but like, can we just play height? Is height not the play?
Yeah. We just take out. Yeah.
Okay.
100%.
Yeah, come down
You
here,
guys
come
have
down
the
here, come down here, come
guardrails,
down
yeah.
here, come down here.
We should go earlier than later. Especially
Earlier
for
than
right.
later? Are you sure?
Yeah. Because everyone's gonna be fighting,
Okay.
and these guys are covering for us 100%.
What's our backup plan if it's not safe?
Back up plan, we're just landing low. We're landing low.
Okay.
This team's taking high ground.
Okay. We're landing
We
low.
can land
garage.
later. Yeah, land low.
No one here. No one here. We're safe. Grabbing the sniper ammo.
Look here. Look here.
Okay. A building above us is not.
It seems like everyone's hitting new notes and hitting the falsetto as we see the rotation coming in from Team Liquid. They do find a very nice place to play here. Charlotte Phoenix on the other side of this wall just trying to survive for now. And they might be looking to maybe re-engage with Team Liquid in a few moments as they all have to force their way forward. Look at that zone pull.
Yeah, this is a tiny little circle for 14 teams to all be in residence, and that circle is going to move away from the majority of the areas which people are holding here. Charlotte Phoenix being bombarded by missiles at the moment, but they should be able to survive. They just need to kind of assess how they want to approach this one. A lot of teams have some big decisions to make here, because if you're the first to move, you're probably going to die. If you're the last to move, you're probably going to die. You've really got to find the right timing, otherwise this is going to be a very difficult situation indeed. In the kill feed, Cloud9 are picking up kills. Prodigy Aces is the next to fall. TSM have managed to take the high ground, which is what the team we were on board with really wanted to see originally.
Yeah, TSM have just been nuisances as well. You can see the Verhost is almost like a little fly just buzzing around the doors, opening them up, hoping it might create a line of sight for another team. All that kind of stuff that kind of plays with the mind. Being active on the map, even if you're not shooting your gun, is so important to do. So all those little things starting to add up here. Knight still alive here, Dan. Down on that low ground and also kind of away from the attention of all the teams inside of this main building.
They really could just sneak their way into quite a significant placement here, which would be enough to secure them a victory overall in Group A versus B here. Legacy MX, another team who have performed very well today and are certainly up there when it comes to the top 5. Aren't able to secure the KP, but do watch another team valk up into the skies as they are going to be wrestling with the red circle here. And you've got to move quickly, because this one does tickle a lot.
Certainly does. I think it was Liquid who made that move. Look at the kills coming in though. Speaking of Liquid, it looks like TSM were picking up those kills in the feed. Noble also picking a couple up themselves, thinking Kotagami will go down. An issue also involved, as now you're going to see How pick up yet another one. NRG just watching all of this go down though from a distance. They are on the other side of zone, and they are going to be chilling once more. John Cena would be very, very happy with that. And I'll tell you what, the cracks are coming in as well. The Tinks are coming in, and NRG might have a chance to just farm the lobby here as everyone is running into their reticle.
Yeah, C9 have lost members, Noble are losing members, and C9
And
have just
Kilby.
been wiped. Knight's also been wiped, but in about 7th position, so that's going to be a significant amount of placement points for them. Realistically, the closest team to try and compete them will be Lazarus, who are still alive. TSM, NRG, Lazarus, they're all on this server. 4 squads remaining.
Yeah, this is 4 squads remaining.
Ooh, Lazarus gone down.
Kills have gone down, like you say. Not only NRG involved with these final kills, but TSM were there as well. And TSM are in the vicinity. Sweet will manage to finish off some kills here and get some loot on board for NRG. But this is setting up to be an impressive final zone here, as you can see. The 3 teams that we have remaining. And TSM are going to make a ballsy play here. They're actually going to take to the skies, but not allowed to land without a bump. As the shots coming in from Nathan and the rest of the lobby are going to push them down back into the death screen. We're down to 2 teams now.
Premier versus NRG. Premier were 14 points behind Knights coming into this game. They were in 4th position. I mean, just a victory here should guarantee them 2nd place. They'd need a really big kill game if they were to take Knights off of that 1st position. So we'll have to see how many kills they have been able to achieve. NRG were down in 10th on 27 points, but they can really make a claim for kind of top 4, top 5 with a big performance here.
NRG are holding the best spot right now. The bubble will go down. As now Premier are trying to make their move up. They have done a pretty good job here, Premier, to be honest with you, to be able to close that ground, recognizing the opportunity that did present itself to make this just a straight 3v3. A little bit of chip damage being done by both teams, but Nathan's going to take more than a chip. It's going to be a chunk, but they do have those death boxes. They do have the armor swaps available. As now you're going to see Sweet starting to sing for NRG. 2 players will fall on Premier. And it will be NRG who close out the day in our final game of the day by calling themselves champions.
Roughly 9 kills, I think I counted there for NRG. A 21-point game or something around that would really propel them up that leaderboard.